Yeah, that's right. Collin from the DMV. Mr. Fingaz. This week in UGA football. Get ready, baby. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? How are you doing? And how are you doing? Your boys were trying to go live just a couple of seconds ago, and all the power at Zagnif Studios just went, and so we had 6 seconds of no video. And me just over here panicking.
My big mug right then. And then my screen flickered out.
Yeah, man, that was the strangest thing to me. It's like I was like, what the heck is going on? Like everything died and came right back on. And of course, you know how that goes. It takes a couple of minutes for everything to pop back up. And so, you know.
Now you got to go around and fix the clocks.
Yeah. That's the sucky part.
Yeah.
That is the absolute sucky part about it, is you got to go back and fix the clocks and all of that stuff that we had up and running. And so, yeah. But anyway, we're here. We're not normally on. We're not one of those UGA podcasts that's normally on year round. You get guys like some of our contemporaries, the Uncle Lou's, the Kangaroo Blacks. Shout out to both of those guys out there. The Locked On Bulldogs, a lot of those podcasts, they find stuff to talk about all year round. Pretty much we talk about football to the end of the season. We give a recap, and then you don't hear from us again until, well, about maybe a few weeks before the season starts, when we give our team predictions and SEC predictions and all of that good stuff. But we're here with good reason today. Well, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but there's been a little bit of activity on campus in Clarke County here as of late. As a matter of fact, this is just since January of 2023. There have been 24 players arrested.
25.
Georgia, 25 players arrested. Georgia has won 24 games. I don't know if you know, but I mean, you know, 1 is bad enough. 25 is a lot. We were having a conversation about it in the chats. Some of our good friends and our fellow podcasters and fellow college football enthusiasts, and we all agree that there is something serious going on in Clarke County. We're not exactly sure what. That's what we're here to talk about tonight, man. So, you know what, Collin? My bad, bro. You know what? I didn't even do the introduction right. Hey, what's going on? It's your guy, Mr. Fingaz, coming to you live from the 405, where the wind most definitely whipped down the plain, down into the plateau, up to the top of the mountain, down in the valley, and around the corner and up the street this week. It's been really crazy. They're predicting it's going to be a really crazy storm season here. I don't even know what to expect. And the sad part is we just put in a claim to get the roof fixed, and we might be wasting that money. Ain't no telling.
I was going to say you might need to wait on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, too late. We already filed a claim. Now, before I go another further, that guy over there, y'all see him? I see him. That is the brother from another, the sexy mother hubba, the ace of base in the place, in your face. I am very happy to be here. Collin P from the DMV. What's good, my G?
I am very happy to be here, but not on the reason we're going to be talking about, but it needs to be said. You know what I mean? I had mentioned before that, you know, you heard the song Devil Went Down to Georgia. He's definitely down in Georgia right now, I believe. So he's
Oh
doing some.
man, he doesn't have to look. He doesn't have to look for souls to steal. They offering them up for free for TikTok likes and subscribers. So that's the way they act in the
Yeah, he's down there and set up camp. Seemed like it might be on the campus of the University of Georgia, Clarke County for at least. So,
and so the conversation back to the conversation we were having in the chat in a Facebook Messenger. There was about 6 or 7 of us, and this was a revolving conversation that took place over the course of several hours. The question was raised, like, what's going on in Athens, and why does it seem to only be a problem in Athens? My answer to that was things like this go on at every school. It's just that the other schools are very good at reeling it in and keeping it from getting in the public eye. We reference
let me
coaches.
cut you off for a second. So there was a question. I know it's a culture question. Like, I don't know if you're like me. It's just it's been deemed a culture problem or a potential culture problem on the, and the football team. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah.
Yeah, 100%, because it's every time you turn around, like, and it started most notably with the accident that took the life of Chandler LaCroix and sophomore offensive lineman. Oh man, he was a sophomore. He'd be a senior this year. Devin Willock. And it was a high-speed crash. They were racing Jalen Carter, probably driving some Hellcats, more than likely. And they were driving more than 100 miles an hour. There were 2. Here's the scary part. There were 2 other guys in the car there were 2 other guys in the car.
She was driving the SUV though. It was I don't know if it was an Escalade, Yukon, or something. It was one of the bigger ones. And then the other car, I believe, was a Hellcat, probably. But I do know she was driving an SUV.
More than likely. So those of you that are watching, feel free to join the chat. We are hot on YouTube. Feel free to give it a share. I'll let you people know that we're on. And then it just turned into like a every other month kind of thing, because that was in January. Here's one that totally was under the radar. Freshman offensive lineman Alu Ba. His wasn't as bad. He's 65 and a 45. He got 12 months probation, a $635 fine, 40 hours of community service.
Dang.
4 days later, junior linebacker Jamon Dumas Johnson, racing and reckless driving. He pleaded guilty to reckless driving, and the racing charge was dismissed. Let's see. Was it the same day? 2 days later, Denylon Morissette. That sounds like some stockings that a singer named Alanis would wear while she's singing "You Ought to Know" to Dave Coulier. A sophomore receiver. Let's see. Denylon Morissette and Marvin Jones. Denylon was a sophomore. Marvin Jones was a freshman defensive end. 81 and a 45 and 93 and a 65 in Atlanta on February 23rd. Then a month later, Kristen Miller and Kendall Milton, 95 and a 65 and 79 and a 65. They were racing on March 23rd. Denylon Morissette, again, 3 months later, on May 9th, 91 and a 55, arrested for DUI and drugs. He hit another vehicle from behind, driving on a restricted license. Huh?
Was he a freshman? I'm sorry.
Yes, he was.
Okay. All right.
He was then. I don't even know if he's still on the team. Driving on a restricted license and too fast for conditions. Then, oh, come on. Now the scroll doesn't want to work. Then that was when our guy Marcus Roseby Jackson got himself in trouble. There we go. I just used the mouse pad since the batteries in my mouse are not working. He got stopped 3 times for speeding. The first one was in May, 60 and a 50 in Florida. The second time was in, again, the next day, 70. The next day, bro.
The next day? Yeah, that's insane.
The next day. See, you guys have just been hearing the stories. I'm reading them out for you right now. The very next day, he was driving 31 miles over the speed limit. And then a third time, watch this, a third time a week later in Athens County for doing 90 and a 45. They gave him they jailed him for reckless driving. Then I sincerely think he shouldn't have a driver's license.
I was going to say, don't they? I mean, they suspend at the very least to suspend his license, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hold on. Let me keep this thing going. 2 months later, Samuel Mpemba, who's a freshman linebacker, 88 and a 55. 26 days later, Tyrion Ingram Dawkins was stopped for speeding. A redshirt defensive lineman, 90 and a 70 mile per hour on July 31st. And then they put him in jail for an outstanding warrant for failure to appear over a handicap parking violation. Let's see. 2 months later, Jarvis Jones, who is a player connection coordinator, not even a player.
Right.
Oh, he was a player / connection coordinator. He was arrested for reckless driving and speeding, 86 and a 40.
And a 40.
Janelle Aguero and Justin Wright, racing, sophomore defensive back, redshirt defensive back, driving 59 and a 40 mile an hour zone. That was in February of last year. 6 days later, senior defensive back David Daniel Sisavon was charged with reckless driving. He made multiple lane changes at a high speed without using blinkers and led the police on a high-speed chase. 1 month later in March, I'm getting tired just reading these. Yes, it is live, Sean. Welcome to the show. Trevor Etienne charged with DUI and reckless driving on March 24th. DUI and reckless driving and 2 other misdemeanors, drinking in downtown before he was pulled over at almost 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 months later, freshman wide receiver Sokovie Wright arrested for reckless driving and driving the wrong way. He was pulled over in downtown Athens for traveling at a high speed and was driving in the wrong direction on a one-way street. 2 months later, in July, Bo Hewley arrested for reckless driving and failure to maintain lane and proper driving following a car accident. The next day, Smale Munden, DeMello Jones were arrested for racing and reckless driving. Munden was clocked going 75 miles an hour in a 40 mile an hour zone. Then we know about this one. This is the most infamous one since the incident with Jalen Carter, Ra Thomas, family violence. These were all dismissed. These were all dismissed, weren't they?
Yeah, I believe yeah. But damage was done. I mean, I think she did come out and she made it up. But I don't think he.
But I just want you to think about this for a minute. That's Ra Thomas. That's in 2024. That is a year and a half after the first incident. And if I'm counting, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 charges before Kirby finally said, okay, that's enough. You are going to be, I'm going to make an example out of you. A year and a half later, I'm going to make an example out of you. You're off the team. Now, not done yet, though. Sophomore cornerback Daniel Harris, reckless driving, 106 miles an hour, no insurance, driving an unregistered vehicle, no seatbelts, and illegal tint on the car. No date on that one. Colby Young arrested and suspended from the team for battery and assault misdemeanor. That was the one where that girl came out and said, I think she also came out and said that was unfounded, but that damage was also done. Kirby suspended him too. And kicked him off the team, actually suspended indefinitely. Marcus Easley arrested for, and then these are the ones from just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Marquez Easley, 3 counts of reckless conduct, reckless driving, all misdemeanors, lost control of his Charger, rotated clockwise, ran off the road, struck a power distribution box. He was suspended from the team on 3 days later on the 20th. And then Nitro Tuggle, 107 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour speed zone.
Now it makes me wonder if these are most
the police. Wait, hold on. Here's the part. The police report states Tuggle was going 42 miles over the speed limit, and when asked to pull over, he nearly exited without putting the vehicle in park.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. DUI too, right? Or DW?
No, that was easily.
Okay. It would make more sense if it
Sean,
was.
Sean makes a very good point. Listen, in 1987, Michael Jackson put out the follow-up album to the Bad album, to the Thriller album with Bad. There was a song. Oops, wrong one. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. There was a song on that album called Speed Demon.
Speed Demon. Yeah, dude. That's a great song. Sorry.
The video was absolutely awesome. It was all claymation. Mike was being chased by claymation characters, one of which was the Domino's Noid. Remember, avoid the Noid.
Mm-hmm. Avoid the
Noid. Big deal. But yeah, we do have some speed junkies on that team. Sean says maybe they should call him Nas. Yeah. Funny dude. Those of you that are watching, we got a couple of you watching. We appreciate you, Sean and Tina. Oh, that was Tina that said we got the speed junkies. I'm sorry. Hello, Puka. How are you? Puka. That's a running joke on our show. Let's Talk Football, the round table. We everybody's got a nickname. We don't really have one for Sean yet, but there's Mr. I Want to Smoke, Miss DWD, Delilah Crespo, Tina Potty Mouth, Winter, but I call her Puka after her very, very enthusiastic rendition of the Puka dance. And she calls me Dinklage because I have a head full of useless knowledge. I said, that's what I do. I drink and I know things. Although I don't drink anymore. We'll throw back to Game of Thrones here. But so yeah, that's what's going on, man. So after running down that Rogues Gallery, and dude, that's a shame. We just spent the first 18 minutes of this show. We only intended to be on here for about maybe half an hour. The first 18 minutes of this show, it took me to read out the list of charges, and that's since January of 2023. That is absolutely insane. There's no reason for it, none whatsoever. No. And not to mention the fact that even though driving was not involved, let's not forget our two-time national champion winning former quarterback who was I can't remember if he was arrested or just detained for possibly being drunk in public, knocking on people's doors early on a Sunday morning.
I think he was intoxicated.
Like seriously. You know what? I can go with that, Sean. Way too early Heisman. Yeah. I like that. Yes, our guy Stequavius Bennett the fourth. Stequavius Jamal Bennett the fourth. Yeah, I put the Jamal in there. I know it's actually I don't know what his middle name is. We just call him SB4. What's going on, man?
I got a question. So I mean, like, I wish they had this. I mean, I'm sure they kept it out of the media or kept it out of the news for a reason, but I want to know how many of these people, like the ones for speeding and racing and that kind of stuff, especially the ones going like, 25, 30, 40 miles over the speed limit. I mean, especially 100 miles an hour. Plus, did they get their license suspended? The ones with multiple offenses, are they suspending these guys' license? I mean, is there any?
See that part I don't know because I don't know what the driving laws are in this.
If it's reckless,
I've not been a resident of the state of Georgia for well over 25 years, so I don't know what driving laws are. But I do know this much. In most of the states, to the best of my knowledge, if you're arrested for operating a motor vehicle for way over the speed limit, I do think they will take your license, or at least suspend it or restrict it. Mm-hmm. Or you know what I mean? You got that's strike one, and if you get any more violations within a certain amount of time, I mean, there's the one, I don't want to call him a dummy, but what's the boy name? Alanis Morissette's leggings or whatever his name is. That kid. I mean, for those of you that are just joining and maybe missed the first part of the show, there literally is a kid on the team whose name is, give me just a second and I will find it again. His name is the Nylon Morissette. I cannot make that up. DE' Nylon Morissette, spelled just like the singer. That one. But seriously, something's got to be done. Like, I know, you and I both know, without having any concrete evidence whatsoever, I went off to college. You spent a little time in college too, right? Yeah,
Oh,
you were a Pike. You
yeah.
joined the
I was at
fraternity.
Georgia College.
You
I
know,
didn't have the grades to go to University of Georgia, so I went to the little step up.
but we know that dumb stuff happen on college campuses, and athletes are when athletes arrive on campus, they are 18 years old, just like the rest of us were. Dumb things happen.
Yeah.
Kids do dumb things. For most of them, it is the first time they've ever been away from home and under the watchful eye of mom and dad. Like, they might try and do something dumb at school,
Mm-hmm.
but not too terribly dumb, because they know that if they get caught, they've got to go home, because that's where they live and that's where they sleep and they can't avoid it. But you go away to college, kids get into some stuff, man. So I know dumb things happen, and I know things like this, maybe not to that extreme, to that degree, with that many people, but I know things like this happen on other college campuses with athletes as well. But you don't hear about those other universities.
Right.
So, number one, what is it about the program that makes all of these guys seem so? What makes them so just? I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Other than and let's throw the whole Gen Z. Let's throw that out the window for a minute. Although we do know that's kind of a factor. But what is it about UGA that these kids just feel like they can operate with impunity? Okay. Um, and then number two, what can the coach do to help mitigate and steer that in a different direction?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I mean, yeah, I mean, I get the whole going off, to going away from mom and daddy, or as it were, and with no parents around, whatever, you want to do some stupid stuff. But I mean, like, if you have, and you're part of a football team and part of a college culture that has already had, and it didn't start off with I mean, maybe they had some racing and some reckless driving, but I mean, the highest profile, somebody lost their life, you know what I mean? And that right there, should have kind of kicked you in the behind and said, look, maybe I shouldn't be doing all this. But I mean, they are young. And to me, though, I don't think their license will be suspended. I mean, I don't even think they're getting so much as a slap on the wrist. And it doesn't seem that way, because I mean, if they're going to go out there and do it again, and it'd be a part of the team, and they see these kids getting arrested, I mean, within weeks of each other, days sometimes, I mean, and they still have want to go out and do something like that. I mean, 40 miles over the speed limit, go 100 miles an hour. I mean, I want to know. I mean, it doesn't matter really if it's on the highway, or these back roads, 2-lane roads, or it's on the interstate. Kind of want to. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're still breaking the law. But
Right.
I mean, and another thing, you're in a high profile, and you're playing football for a high profile college that just actually has a lot of exposure, because they went back-to-back national championships. So they're going to be under the microscope, and you're going to be under the microscope too. So, I mean,
Yes.
you're not, I mean, it's going to happen, and then, like, I mean, I posted in the chat about the former Georgia, Clarke County police officer. So he says, and they made it a game. And they said that, it was a game to them, not, I mean, I don't even know if it's necessarily the players are catching a player speeding or whatever. They like leak it to the news, which, I mean, it could be, here nor there, but I mean, it could be true or not. But still, I mean, somebody's coming. I mean, that's just the culture, somebody's going to try to make you look bad, and if you're a football player at Georgia, especially if they're a Florida fan, but
Yeah.
not all of it. But I'm just saying, and getting to your question about Kirby, I mean, I'm kind of go up and down on this, because I mean, I kind of feel like there's only so much he can do. I mean, like, he has them on the field, he has them when they practice. I mean, what does he do? Like, have practice, 7 days a week, keep them off the road? I mean, like, I just don't have an answer for that one. I mean, he is responsible, but I mean, like, to what degree? You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, put it like this. I'm gonna break it down for you like this. I did 9.5. I gave 9.5 to Uncle Sam. Highest rank I achieved was a sergeant. I had my little 3 stripes, and I had a squad of guys underneath me. And when any of my guys were out of place, out of line, failed to measure up to standards, it was up to me to handle that situation. Now, at some point, I did have one guy that at some point was so out of pocket that at some point it stopped. Like, there's only so much But hey, platoon sergeant, I did this and we did the corrective training and I did this and I took him out and I smoked. We had a smoke session for, I smoked the dog piss out of him for 45 minutes in the sand pit. We did this, we did that. He's been on extra duty. He's gotten Article 15. At some point, it's going to come back on me.
Yeah.
When they write my NCO, when they wrote my NCO evaluation report, it would come back on me. You understand? At some point, it stops being sergeant. I've done this. I've done this. I've done this. At some point, they're going to look at me and say, "Okay, it must be you." Then it becomes a you or them type situation. I don't think it's gotten to that point yet. But I think I now here's the sad part about it. If Kirby goes out in 2025 and wins another national championship, and then maybe pulls another one in 2028. For the boosters and the athletic department, it'll go away for a while. But if they keep having incidents, it'll be in the spotlight. But if Kirby goes out and let's just say Kirby and the boys go out there and don't make the conference championship this year, and then next year they have a bad season, and then they limp their way into the finish line in 2028. You think that you don't think that all of a sudden it'll become a show? No, Sean, just pipe down, Sean. Pipe down. I didn't say we were going to. I'm speaking in hypothetical, sir. Sir, I'm gonna need you to sit down and let me finish this scenario before you that person that be at the magic show talking about the rabbit is in his pocket.
Heisman, way too early, Heisman.
The point is, I'm just saying, let's just say for the hypothetical, since I have to put that out there, sake of this conversation, that they win another couple championships. So they go to the SEC championship again and win it, and maybe win a playoff game, make a run, get to the semifinals, something along those lines. You'll see it, but it won't. I mean, and trust and believe, these folks will talk about it. But for the folks behind the scenes at Georgia, it won't really become an issue unless, God forbid, that another life is lost or something like that. But if Kirby goes out there and the dogs poop the bed for a couple of seasons, that is going to be all rolled up in. That's going to be all rolled up in Kirby's lost control of the team and Kirby did the dogs off the leash. You think I'm gonna? You think we missed you too, OG? We missed you too, Sean. We missed you too, Mr. Way Too Early Heisman. Oh man. But yeah, I think that's what it's going to become because at some point it's got to fall back on Kirby.
Yeah, I agree. I got a question for you though, because I've been paying attention, well, halfway paying attention about these. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these players do get suspended. He does suspend these players. I mean, is the next step just to
but look at how many incidents it took for him to start suspending players.
No, I feel you. I feel you on that. I'm just saying, like, should he automatically one and done? I'm saying, like, you get caught for reckless driving speed. I mean, I could go along with that. If you're endangering somebody else's life, if you have anybody else's car with you, if you're going 100 miles an hour in a 40 mile an hour zone. Yeah,
if you dumb enough to get behind the wheel of a car, I mean, okay, I get it, Fast and the Furious, but you know what? Even Paul Walker died in real life. Consider that, okay? If you get out there and you endanger your life and someone else's life, get your little hindquarters, leave your gear. I don't care. Don't even take a piece of tape or a bandage with a dog on it. If I even hear you say, like Eddie Murphy say in life, he said, if I hear you, you better not say watch. Say watch one more time. If your mouth gonna say woo woo woo, I'm gonna get you better say little clock or something like that. Like if you get ready to woof, you better whimper. I don't want to even hear you woofing around me. Just get out of my locker room and out of my program.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree too.
And that might seem extreme, but you don't want to get that reputation. I mean, you see Urban Meyer will go down in history as
he's a liar.
It's like, okay, I put it like this. Urban Meyer could have gone down in history as one of the best coaches in recent college football history. But that entire legacy, what he did at Florida, what he did at Ohio State, will all be tainted because now you go back and you look at what happened at Florida when he was there. You go and you look at what was going on at Ohio State when he was there. And you look at what he did when he was the coach of the Bengals or whatever. Well, who's
Yeah.
the coach? I asked that question before when he was coaching in the league. Everywhere he has gone, he's had some sort of scandal under his watch. So you don't want to be that coach, and the only way to not become that coach is to actually be a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I can go along with that. I can go along with like straight one and done, kick them off. And no, Sean, the natty's not more important. I was saying that gives us more exposure. I know it's been 2 years since, but I'm saying, we've always been high profile. But I mean, at the same point, it gives these kids the mentality that they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof and they can't be touched. Which is we're finding out really, really, quick like that. 25 of them absolutely can be touched. Some of them more than once, like arrested. But it's just it's amazing to me. But I mean, I get, like I said before, I get young and dumb, but I mean, some of these kids, I mean, and they have no. I mean, to be honest, personal opinion, they have no business driving Hellcats and those kind of cars with engines like that. I mean, like 18, 19, 20-year-olds do not need to be doing that.
They don't have enough driving experience to even be driving a Hellcat.
To handle that, yeah, that type of power.
This year marks 40 years since I got my learner's permit. I've never driven anything with that kind of power. I wouldn't want to drive it.
Bro, I just got a Jeep Grand Cherokee 2018. It's got a V6. The car before I had was a 4-cylinder. I thought I was driving a race car, man. V6 is awesome. You can get up and go before you even know it. But I can't imagine driving something with 350, 350, 400, whatever horsepower. Crazy.
Don't need that much.
They get them all souped up, which it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, something needs to be done. I mean, there's no question that I guess you could call it a culture problem. But I mean, then the question becomes the AD's involvement. Outside looking in, you don't know what the conversation is between the AD and Kirby and boosters and all that kind of stuff, and something needs to be done.
It does. You're 100% correct. I mean, 100% correct.
Because lucky only one life has been lost. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's lucky that these 25 cases, 25 people or incidents, that somebody hasn't lost their life already. That's a lot.
Yeah, well, they already did because the first one was the one.
No, I'm saying after that,
Oh, after that, yeah, especially the guys that are at 100 and some odd miles an hour.
Right? Yeah, I mean that should have showed them right then, but not paying attention.
It's just I don't.
So what would you do to deter that? I mean, like honestly, besides kicking them off the team, I mean, they supposedly Kirby said they're doing defensive driving and all these things and classes and all this kind of stuff. And
those kids aren't paying it. Come on, man! You talking about these modern day teenagers? These kids, they're going to check the box, and as soon as coach isn't looking, they're going to do what they want to do.
That's right.
And they're going to do what they want to do. They don't care anything about. Excuse me. They don't care anything about. They don't give. It's almost like they don't give a damn about what coach is talking about. How?
But that goes with the conversation.
How are you going to tell a kid that's making 10% of what you're making a year, a teenager that's making 6 or 7 figures a year in NIL money, what he needs to do?
That's what you and I were talking. That's what you and I were talking about. They have this luxury now that they can hop team to team. Transfer portal. I mean, they can do whatever they want, and they're like, oh well, you don't want me, I'll go somewhere else. Somebody else will want me, and there's no limit to how many times you can hop. You're the Easter Bunny, hop wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing about it is because, you saw you and I talked about the press conference that Kirby had earlier, where Kirby says you coach these guys hard, they get all in their feelings. So how do you get a point across to a kid? Hey, look, this is what you're here to do. This is what you're going to do. And if you do this the way I show you how to do it, those 32 guys over there, one of them is going to offer you a job, and you're going to make a lot of money, and you're going to have money to live off of that can change your life and your family's life for the remainder of your days. But you're not going to get over there if you keep acting stupid over here.
Right. Listen to the message, not how it's delivered. You know, what I mean that's always been a thing. And most people, a lot of people, I mean, like, won't get that message unless you're in their face. Like, I mean, and beat it in their head. But there's several players on the Georgia team has mentioned that. Like Kirby is he's rash. He's got a mouth on him, which I mean that's coaches. That's how you and I were coached. You know what I'm saying? And now everybody's all up in their arms.
Or maybe even a deal where the NCAA now I'm going to go ahead and say it. It is no secret that the NCAA has zero backbone. They will not stand up and do barely anything where the stuff like this is concerned. Or maybe it becomes a thing where the NCAA says, look, you got X, Y, and Z. If you do X in this column right here, you are indefinitely suspended from playing football in any NCAA sanctioned school, to include FCS, D2, D3, however low the levels go of football. You are no longer allowed to play. If you do Y, you can be reinstated if you meet these following requirements and continue to stay under these requirements for X period of time. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like, you know how they talk about the death sentence, where a school will receive a death sentence where they can't participate in the postseason for 4 or 5 years, and it's basically a death sentence because now nobody wants to go play at that school. Nobody wants to go play at that school because they can't win a championship, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to come up with a death sentence ruling for the players. It's like, look, you cross this line, you can't ever come back here and play here. Period.
Oh, you're talking about players? Yeah. Okay.
As a player, if you cross this line, you are suspended from playing any sports for a period of 5 years, which essentially kills a player's eligibility.
Absolutely.
Which means that if they still want to play, go play JUCO and see if you can get picked up by the UFL. But you're not going to be here doing that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean that's a good idea.
Those of you that are watching in the chat, which I think right now is only Sean Spencer.
Division 1, Division 2.
Yeah, please feel free to give us your opinions in the chat.
Well, I mean, they make too much money for the SEC. I mean, they're not going to do it with the
Well, Sean, you know what? You make a very valid point. I would add this even. If a player violates XYZ and it is determined that the coach knew about this behavior or was negligent about this behavior, coach is automatically fired for cause. I had to do some digging to find out about what the difference is in being fired for cause and just being like terminated, like how they did with Ed Orgeron meant. So basically what happens is you're fired for cause, for those of you that are not familiar. Since I just learned, the memory is still fresh in my head. As a college coach, if you are fired for cause, that means that you cannot coach anywhere in the NCAA for X period of time. They hit you with what's called a show cause, which means that nobody can hire you. And if a program wants to hire you, then that program, like say Urban Meyer got fired from Ohio State and he got fired for cause, they put a show cause on him. And then Michigan, just for grins and giggles to really mess with Ohio State, says, we want to pick him up. Michigan has to send essentially a 50-page essay explaining why they want to hire this person, why they want to hire Urban Meyer, and what they are going to do to ensure that something like this is not going to happen again, or blah, blah, blah. Basically, they got to write the world's longest essay to explain, hey, look, we'll take him in. If he steps out of line, we'll knock him upside the head with a stick. But here's the caveat. You hire him, he can't do anything for a year. No practices, no recruiting, no going on the road, no visiting any students. He can't even be in the stadium or on the sidelines. So you wind up essentially hiring Urban Meyer to work for you and paying him for a year. And he sits on his butt at home cashing his checks. Now, what school's going to want to do that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just
would they really fire Kirby if they found that out? If the heat got too hot, put it like this: if the public backlash became too big, you bet your bippy they throw him under the bus.
They would have to have something on him. I mean, that he would have to know something. He would have to like sweep something like under the rug. They won't do that for something that's going on right now. I don't know.
Yeah, man, but you know how things go, man. People will
I
love
get
you.
it.
People will love you 1 minute. Joe Paterno was one of the most beloved figures in college football, and the
Mhm.
minute all the stuff came out, and it was indicated that he may have had some knowledge, bye. Because
Yeah.
the whisperings had been, remember with Joe Paterno, the whisperings had been going on,
Yeah.
but there was no proof. They had no proof. And if I'm being honest, to go back and look at it, they might not have had a lot of proof, but they had enough to tie him to it, and that was all that they needed to put the foot in the crease and say, Joe, look, we got to let you go.
The court of public opinion.
Because Penn State loved Joe Pa.
Oh yeah, and to be honest with you, I think that's why he died. I mean, that's what he did.
Oh, that was all he was. That was all he was. That was all he really lived for at that age.
Yeah,
him and his wife.
Go ahead.
To your point, Sean, you know what? 2 national titles do go a long way. They truly do, especially after a 40+ year drought. But we also know that college football is very what have you done for me lately? Very much so.
Well, on the flip side of that, do you think there will come a time where Kirby gets tired of this and he leaves? Not gets fired.
He looks tired now. Did you
see he gets tired of dealing with
the last couple of press conferences?
Yeah.
Like I put it like this, if he can get something out of these guys and they look solid this year, they look like a solid team, but just maybe missing a piece here or there, he might stick around. But if they go out there and they just poop the bed, if they go out there this year and they poop the bed, and then maybe next season, maybe.
I'll be honest, man. Honest with you. I was surprised he said that thing about the players.
I'm not.
I was really. I mean, I was surprised because after the team we had, the 21-22, team, and we don't have a leader. I really wish there was somebody to step up.
I'm not surprised he said it. I mean, he came out during the press conference and said the guys came in. He said the guys all came in. He said all but like a couple of them were overweight or out of shape. And the guys are coming out, and we got more guys out here catching cramps because they're not warming up and staying warm and stretching and doing the calisthenics and weightlifting and all of that stuff. Some of them are.
I'm talking about like coachables. They get all in their feelings about coaching. I mean, I don't think we've ever had that kind of. I guess the culture was bad. I mean, for lack of a better term,
I'm going to tell you this: if they don't reel in NIL. If they don't reel in NIL, you think it's bad now. That's going to start it's going to spread, bro. You start seeing it in other programs. I mean, you're already seeing guys. What was the boy's name that was at Ohio State? Was it Tate Martell? Yeah, our boy Tate Martell. He went to Ohio State because they were going to give him some money to come and play. And then Quinn Ewers showed up, and they gave Quinn the starting job, and he left, and he went someplace else, and he was in a quarterback competition there, and he was a second-string quarterback, and then he left and wound up going to UNLV.
Hey, honorable mention for our boy T.J. Finley. He was bouncing around. He went to Tulane, and he got some trouble. And I mean, it goes along with the conversation because he bought the truck, quote unquote, from in Atlanta. So,
oh God, yeah. It took me a second to catch on what you were talking about. God.
Yeah, TJ Finley is like 14 now. I guess
it sounds like a deal where he had some NIL money, and somebody probably promised him he could get that car for cheap, and it was it's the J spot, and it was probably stolen as hell. I mean, I don't want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but you're talking about a very naive young man who has new money. And I'm going to tell you something. If any city is the king of the scam artists amongst people that look like me, it's the capital of our home state, my friend, because they will get you for real. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, number one, he was blocking traffic or blocking something. The truck was in the place it shouldn't be. It was on the road blocking somebody, and then he switched the plates. They ran the plate, and it came back to him, but it was registered to another car, his car, and then the truck came back stolen on the VIN. So,
he switched the plates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, TJ.
They ran the plate.
TJ, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. That's my best Tyra Banks. I'm pretty sure her voice hasn't gotten that deep yet. She's still got a lot of her estrogen for her, so she don't sound like Barry White and have a beard. But we were rooting for you, TJ. Why, bruh? Come on, man.
He was going to be the best thing since sliced bread at Auburn when he was there, but then he took off.
Best thing since sliced bread, huh?
Kind of like Carson. He needs to quit. He needs to put that Snapchat down, bro. He's not very good. He's not good with social media.
No, he is not. Hey, so Pete, total side note here, has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Can we just take a minute to give a shout out to our guy, one Mr. Alexander Mikhailovich Ovechkin.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is tearing it up right now in NHL. You're talking about a guy who is going to be 40 years old this year. We're sidebar. We'll get back to Georgia thing in a minute. Just got to give a shout out to Alex Ovechkin. I never really was much of a hockey guy until I moved to the Washington area because, I mean, we had the Thrashers, but then the Thrashers left and went to Canada. Yeah, and I wasn't much of a hockey guy to begin with, but then I started following hockey because of Ovi, and this dude, man, he is right now. He needs 2 goals to tie Wayne Gretzky's record, and he needs 3 to break the record. I don't know how many games there are left, but he's still out there doing the doggone thing. And I think
I was going to ask you. I wasn't sure how close he was. I knew he was getting there, but I mean Gretzky. I mean, Ovechkin is actually he's a humble guy too. You know, he's full of humility too. So, I mean, he's not. I mean, he'll go out there and fight, but he's got he'll he's not a brooder. That's not his job. He just likes to score.
CAPS. What kind of car is it that he drives? He drives
I told you.
A Lamborghini Aventador.
He used to have, like when Brady was born. I mean, I put this in the chat. When Brady was born in Children's in DC, I would go to work, go see him and Shannon, and then. But sometimes I would go by it was MCI then. Now it's what is it now? But when they play hockey,
Capital One Arena.
Yeah, I go by there, and one time the players were leaving, and I got behind. He had a gunmetal CLS Mercedes, and there was another.
I'm looking at that right now too.
Yeah, so that was that car, and it's the license plate. I knew it was him because it's 08 Great or OV Great or something like that. His license plate. Yeah. And then there was a 4-door Porsche. They came out with a 4-door Porsche. Anyway, long story short, they got on Constitution Avenue and they were racing, and and it was awesome because you know how short it is between those red lights.
Yeah. You got a shout out there from Mr. Spencer.
Oh yeah, bean pies. Did you see the picture I sent you? We got some bean pies.
I saw that.
Yeah, bro.
I saw that. The Honorable Nicholas to the Honorable Nicholas X. But back to this car, man. I had to look this up. I'm gonna just have you take a guess.
All right.
How much do you think a Lamborghini Aventador costs?
Aventador?
Yeah.
About a new one, right? Like this year model?
Sure. We'll go with this year.
Aventador. It's not in the millions. I would say 250.
That's on the low end. It could go anywhere. You could get it for anywhere from 250 to 800.
Yeah, I know it was less than $1 million.
That's absolutely insane. That's how much money he's made playing hockey.
Hey, I mean, Carson had a Performante. So, I mean, look how much those are. And Lamborghini Performante.
Yeah, that probably cost a nice little chunk of change, too.
But that was definitely over $1 million. That was 6 zeros easy.
but he's a 20-something-year-old kid who has difficulty keeping money and other things in his pants pocket. I said that out loud, didn't I?
It's in Miami now, so it's only gonna get worse.
Shout out to Hannah. Hang in there, sweetheart. You'll find the one. He might not be it.
I'm single.
Hey,
I don't have cash flow, but I mean, I'm making up in other areas.
Yeah, better hope she like bean pies.
Dude, that's Southern hospitality. Come on, man.
Oh God, you gonna making some crackling cornbread? I've
did.
never had this before.
Oh, dude.
Why is it crunchy? Cornbread's not supposed to be crunchy.
No, man.
But to get back
going off the rails, man. You see them chitlins I sent you on there? Well, never mind. Let's don't go there.
Oh God, I can't even get it. I can't even get into that right now, man. I've got to the point in my life where there's certain things that my stomach used to just shrug off.
Yeah.
That are now like kryptonite.
Yeah.
It's like my stomach, the version of my stomach that I have now is the version of Clarke Kent after he got in the chamber. After he got in the chamber at the and gave up his powers to get with Lois Lane and then got beat up in the truck stop. That's the stomach I have now. Dude, we had a retirement party for one of my coworkers on Tuesday. Had a delicious cake and just the cream icing.
Yeah,
man, that icing turned me every which way but loose. You feel me?
Oh yeah, I mean that's the joys of getting older, man. I mean, like you have to kind of adjust your intake, which I mean, I eat a lot of spicy food.
I only had one piece.
That's all you need.
I used to sit around and get a whole can of Betty Crocker cream cheese icing and a spoon and just sit and eat it.
Yeah, Lord. I did the same with cottage cheese.
I did that last year. Can't do that no more.
Well, I eat spicy food. Like I said, I got cast iron stomach, but I need to stop that too. But anyway, you make me hungry.
Yeah, you got your stomach is gonna be cast iron. I'm gonna tell you right now because I got a few years on you. Yeah, give it about another 3 or 4 years. You can mess around and wake up one morning and go, ooh, what?
Oh, I'm regular like Sunday morning, man.
Huh?
I said I'm regular like Sunday morning. I ain't got no problem.
I didn't say you were gonna have problems with irregularity. I'm just saying that gut punch, the food you're going to start experiencing more foods that you to take on. Dude, I used to go to. I'll give you a perfect example. I used to go to IHOP and eat the whole the Colorado omelet, the one that's about as big, the one that's big.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, the giant one that's like that freaking thick.
Yeah.
I can't even do eggs anymore.
That thing got steak inside and outside.
Yes, sir.
It's like a burrito, but egg burrito.
It's a burrito with steak for the outer wrapping with the egg on the inside. But yeah, that's God. We've gotten so far off the topic, but we're kind of jumping around a little bit. But we
cover what we need to cover. So I mean,
so at the end of the day, what it boils down to is I'm not exactly sure what Kirby Smart has to do, but there's going to come a point where everything, as we know, has a tipping point, and I mean everything. Everything has a tipping point. At some point.
You know what I think?
At some point, the athletic director is going to come to Kirby, and they're gonna have a come to Jesus about this. And Kirby has to prepare himself for the eventuality that they're going to put his feet to the fire if this continues to happen.
Yeah, I think honestly,
so it's better to be proactive about it now. I mean, it would be great if he could hire on Mark Richter's. Well, I don't know if there's some kind of clause in his contract that says he can't come back and work. It'd be great if he could hire Mark Richter's like a team personnel management or something like that, because that was one of the things.
Rick's got like Alzheimer's or some dementia, like early onset, or something he's dealing with. But yeah, you're completely right. I think what would help though is somebody step up and be a leader. Like I mean, there's no perceived leader on the team. I mean, like there's no Kobe Dean, there's no James, Jordan, Davis or Jalen Walker. I mean, I have not seen one. I didn't see one this past year. I mean, like I was hoping it'd be Carson, but I mean, like that one. I mean, that didn't show up. Then come to fruition. Let's put it that way. But you know,
Sean makes a very valid point. He says, "What's taking so long? There were literally deaths there," and that's something that has stuck with me since then. The fact that this is continuing. When that girl and when that young lady and that young man died, Kirby should have had a come to Jesus. I know they were all done. They had the parade and all of the celebration at the school and everything. Kirby should have called a meeting next day. There should have been a players meeting next day, followed by a meeting with Coach Smart.
Yeah.
Lives were lost.
Yeah.
And these kids keep acting like that don't mean nothing. That means nothing.
That's the biggest surprise. Dude, like they don't. I mean, like 10 feet tall, bulletproof. They're playing for high profile football team. They're a football player. It's just they can do whatever they want to do. But I mean, how do you not like? How does the death's not creep into your head? And I say, hey, I'm maybe doing something.
Like, you know what I think happened? I'm pretty sure there's a very there's a very large sum of money that was given to both of those people's families.
Oh, I don't know.
With probably an NDA attached to it.
And they weren't driving it. I mean, they were driving a university car too. So, I mean,
and despite the fact that the girl was driving, like she agreed, she willingly participated in this behavior. I'm not blaming her for it, mind you. But despite the fact that she was driving and willingly participating in this activity, probably had some drinks of her own.
Yeah, Sean's right though. Jalen took off. Jalen came back to the scene. Jalen went off like he was driving. Like I think he was trying to leave, and then he came back. So I mean that's a good point. I mean I don't know why Jalen. I mean, who knows, man? We're not there. We don't know what's going on.
You know what? We don't even know. Jalen might be putting some money in both them families' pockets right now.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to stir the pot anymore, and I'm not trying to say that the young lady was to blame, but the point that I'm trying to make is that two young people lost their lives as a result.
That's the main point, yeah.
Like two young people lost their lives as a result of something that none of them should have gotten involved in. Jalen is, and not the dog Jalen, but Jalen is walking free. Meanwhile, these other two families have a void. Each of those families has a void from someone that they lost. Yeah. But that right there should have been the point where Kirby Smart said, listen to me and listen to me right now, damn it.
Yeah, it should have been a wake-up call for not only...
I want you to... Do you see what happened here?
Right.
This does not happen anymore. I better not get another phone call about any one of you out here acting like this. If I do, when you come see me, when you leave my office, you will no longer be a part of this program.
Yeah. But that's the athletic we're saying that should have been the wake up call to come to Jesus home, like you said. That tragedy should have stopped all what's going on right now, and for some reason it has not.
And it continued. I mean, hell, the one little boy drove up in somebody's apartment. He crashed at Nitro. He crashed up in was it Nitro that crashed in the apartment?
He got his license 2 weeks prior. He was 19 years old, just got his license 2 weeks prior, and crashed into somebody's garage. Too much engine, man. Too much horsepower. Too much giddy up.
Yeah, 107 miles an hour. The speed limit was 65. Easily almost died. He hit a power distribution box.
That was other kid.
Like these kids are out here acting. I don't know. It's almost like they don't fear death or consequences.
Yeah, and then we got more arrests than we got wins since January 2020.
And I'm not. Well, We haven't had many. I'm not. This is not one of those humble brag things. We haven't had a lot of losses since then. But the point still remains is that, or actually, the point is, for as many games as Georgia has won since that point, they have still had that many incidents that they outnumber the number of wins that Georgia has had.
Mm-hmm.
It started with Jalen Carter.
Started with one of the worst conditions.
It should have ended with Jalen Carter.
To the end of there, yeah, I agree.
It should have ended there. Now Jalen appears to have gotten his life together and on the right track and blah blah blah. Sean raised a very valid point. It's almost like they need to honestly get maybe the schools do need to start having a service, and I don't know. Maybe they do have a service. Maybe they have a service. Hell, I was in the Army, and the Army don't pay squat to nobody. Okay, like there are people at let's say you're a full bird colonel. A full bird colonel is almost equivalent to like the president of a major corporation who sits up underneath the CEO, and he doesn't make nearly that type of president's money. We had not full bird colonels, but we have first sergeants that would stand out in formation and say, if you've had too much to drink, call me. My platoon sergeant would say, if you've had too much to drink, call me. I'd rather get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and pile all of you drunk asses in my car and have you puking out the window or puke in my car and I could take it and get it detailed. I'd rather do that than have the MPs calling me because you got picked up for a DUI.
Yeah. I mean, you got these guys
or because something else happened to you.
You got all these kids making millions of dollars. I mean, why do they drive? I mean, I've always said if I ever hit that redneck college fund, I mean, I don't think I would drive ever again. I mean, why would you do it? I mean, why would you risk
the redneck college fund? You mean the one you got to scratch the stuff off the?
No, you mean the one with the numbers that you got to pick all.
The redneck. That redneck college fund. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you can't. The numbers go too high. You don't know how to count that high.
Oh. Here in Oklahoma, they call it the tornado shelter fund. I'm gonna build me a big old tornado shelter.
Yeah, I guess, man. But that was saying, if I had that kind of money, I mean, like, especially if I had went out and tied one on, and I went out there and got whammered beyond belief. Absolutely not. I'd have my own.
But that might be something that they're going to have to start doing. But the dumb part about it is, Collin, is that with the mentality of these young kids now, because they fear nothing and no one, they probably wouldn't do it. And then the guys would be like, "Oh man, you'll get your lame ass in the Uber. You'll get your lame ass in Coach Smart Uber pool. Man, you lame as hell. You a lame, homie. You a goofy." Man, and then there's the peer pressure, and it's like, bro, how many shots did you have in the last hour?
Like I said, they put me in charge.
Right,
put me in charge. They'd have a UGO, and they would not have a Charger. They would have one of the most embarrassing cars that I could find.
Dude, watch me. Don't let me become the AD of a major college program. I'll be like, from this moment going forward, every single one of you that is of driving age will drive no car more fancy than are you ready for it? Than a 1973 AMC Gremlin.
Or you put
for those of you that are way too young to get that reference, just go look it up and have yourself a good chuckle.
Yeah, but I mean, or you drive that Charger, put a governor on it. You can't go above 50 miles an hour, 55. I mean, you put some on there where they can't do it. And you put one of those what do you call it? The blow things when you get a DUI.
Oh, the
breathalyzer thing.
The breathalyzer auto starter.
Yeah.
There were quite a few people that used to come to my favorite Monday night spot out there in Ashburn that had those in their cars.
I got I did get a DWI, but I got it right before they made that mandatory.
To answer your question, Sean, we haven't even dug into the NIL valuations yet. We probably start looking into that a little bit later once is the spring, I don't know, did the spring portal open yet? I don't believe so. We're looking at that once we get through what spring games are going to take place and the spring portal opens and people move around and the rosters start getting a little more finalized and look at what kind of NIL money people are getting. Right now, I think our guy Gunner's making. I don't think he's getting seven figures, but I think he's pretty close. I think he's somewhere between the. I think he's pretty close to like 7 or 8, the 7 or 8 range.
Wow, I got to look up from what though? That would be like who's giving him cash?
I mean, come on, dude. He's still playing at Georgia, and he was a highly rated quarterback, and I'm pretty sure somebody put some money in his pocket just to make sure he stayed.
Yeah.
So sometimes something you have to understand. Sean made a good point. Oh no, it wasn't Sean, but Sean. Somebody made a good point. I forget who it was that said sometimes the second stringer, it's not about him getting paid to play. It's about him getting enough money to make sure he sticks around. Sticks around. So when the starter moves on to his next destination, whether it be another school or the draft or injury, then we still got this other 4-star here that will.
I did find out an interesting nugget. Bell actually had a hand in getting the Branch brothers to come to Georgia. I did read that.
Yeah, so, Sean, but you know what, Sean, you say that, but those kids that leave and take their cars with them, let them, bump them, because those are the kids that will quit on the team when they find themselves in a position of struggle. You want the kids that are going to be there, that are going to scrap and fight with you through to the end, through to the final whistle, till the clock strikes 000. Oh, well, I'm not getting to touch the ball enough, and coach making me ride in the damn Uber pool. I can't drive my car and stun on the little chicken heads that's running down the college strip in my Hummer V2738 with the body armor and the 72-inch rims on the wheel and the stereo.
Basic question: where are they driving this fast? I mean, like, where are they going to drive this fast? I know they're not doing it downtown. I mean, like maybe 70 to 40, but not 107.
I don't know, man. You have to understand. I was in Athens, Georgia.
No, I don't either. I'm just begging the question.
I was in Athens, Georgia on a regular basis as a semi-resident because of my college status 37 years ago. And the last time I was in Athens following that was when Jordan and I went to the game in 96, 97. So again, you're talking 28 years since I last was in Athens. I don't know.
So I was there in 98, 99, 2001, whenever we beat Tennessee for the first time in forever. And I rode down the goalpost like an idiot.
Yeah. Well, listen here. We have talked. We were going to come on and talk for about a half an hour. We put in almost an hour. Actually, we looped back around to it, put in an hour on this. Those of you that are not watching this live right now, if you're watching this right now, please feel free to jump in the comments and let us know what you think. Are we right? Are we wrong? Are we completely crazy? Are we way too far on the discipline?
I would be interested in other takes because, I mean, like, honestly, I've seen or actually watched other people's takes, and what's the answer? I mean, like, honestly, I don't know if anybody has a definitive answer, but I mean, everybody's had an opinion. But
see, here's the problem, Collin. There has to be an answer because
absolutely,
like we discussed ad nauseum in that chat.
Yeah,
we know that other schools have similar problems.
Yeah,
Georgia seems to be the only one who is having it repeatedly. Now, I'm pretty sure if you shine the spotlight on a couple of other schools, you'd see that they're having similar problems. But even then, they're probably not having it to the degree. Man, these lights make me look like I got white. I have white like white spots on my scalp. I'm like, my God, did I?
You just shine a little bit.
Did I eat too much cottage cheese? Catch a fungus? What the hell? Anyway,
the thing is, ours seem to be speeding. Like, there's a common factor and a common denominator with us. Like, the majority of us is, you have random stuff here and there, but most of ours is racing and speeding. I'd say occasional
Yeah.
drinking, but I mean, it's
But
crazy.
no, but you do understand where I'm going with this though.
Yeah, I do.
You're giving 18, in some cases 17-year-old kids, because some of them are reclassifying to enter school early. Because I know I didn't turn 18 until the month after I graduated high school. So if I reclassified during my senior year to go to college, I'd have been 17 in college. You're giving 17, 18-year-old kids a big bag, and you think they're not going to run out and buy the fastest, most
Oh,
loudest, throttlest sound they can find, tint the hell out of windows, put big fat tires on it, trick it all the way out, put a
yeah.
sound system in it that you can hear 8 blocks away because they think that's what impresses the women or whatever,
And
and
the
then
car
try and
salesman
drive.
still coming a mile away.
Yeah. I can tell you 3 groups of people that car salesmen love to see coming: old people, active duty service members, and young kids with a lot of money and no parents to back them up.
I would say sports like players, young sports players. They just got that money, ready to spend it. I can't say nothing. I'd spend it. I would spend it like the top. How much? But
No, do you know what? I can't say. You know what? As I'm sitting here, and I'm on top of and I'm on top of I'm in the pulpit pontificating. I seem to recall a 24-year-old private first class who got his first couple of paychecks and stashed them up and went down to the car dealership and bought himself a fire engine candy apple red 1994 brand spanking new Pontiac Sunbird.
oh my goodness,
two door with the spoiler and the mag wheels and the
got one, man.
V6. It was a 6. It was the biggest engine on any car I had ever driven. And it had a V6. It had a low profile. It had them fat tires. And man, when I drive, the other car I was driving used to get me to Fort Stewart from Savannah in about an hour. Boy, I got that Sunbird. I make that trip in 45 minutes. I just had to be careful on 144 because it was on post. Because Fort Stewart is actually the largest military installation east of the Mississippi, encompassing 5 counties: Bryan, Evan, Long, Lynch. No, not Lynch. Whatever it is, in Tattnall counties. That was a question on the promotion board that I still remember to this day. The way you remember was Belt, Belt. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, I went out and bought that 94, and man, that car blue booked at $11,000 brand new. I financed it for 25. They got me.
Put that thing on layaway.
They got me. And I only got 6 more payments. By the time I buy it, it'll be 6 years old.
This
But it'll
baby
be
is
mine.
mine. Like 3 more, 4, 5 years is mine.
Listen,
Yeah.
Sean, to answer your question, we could look into this for hours, but I gotta shut it down here in a minute.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you that. Well, I can't guarantee it, but I know that somewhere at a school, there's at least at some of these other SEC schools, there's somebody somewhere that had a little mishap or whatever, or maybe he was driving a little too fast. I don't know that they're driving 45 miles over the speed limit like some of these kids are.
In a 40?
But I'm pretty sure.
Well, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, or 107 in a 65.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I get it. You're 18, 19, and you got money, and you can go out and buy whatever car you want. I mean, it might be all of your NIL money, and you'll be broke if you don't get drafted by the NFL.
But the thing with me though is like, it seems that a black cloud is steady, like just hovering. Why would you even want to risk it? You know what I'm saying? I understand you going.
Why it gotta be why it gotta be a black cloud? Why it can't be an African American cloud?
All right, gray cloud. It's black and white. It's a mixed cloud. How about that? Can we do that? Can we do a mixed cloud?
Like the Cheerios, like the little girl in the Cheerios commercial.
Got the good hair.
God. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to our final episode of This Week in UGA Football. I don't know. I keep saying that every time we throw one out there, just in case. I mean, I hope not, but you guys.
That's why I love getting my big dog here. We can throw it back and forth. So good, but I do miss you being out this way, though.
Oh, going into the season, Sean, I'm all for it. We could definitely do some deep digging. I started to say deep diving, but that's something else I'm not necessarily notorious for. Like D.L. Hughley say, I get in the pool, the middle of my hair don't even get wet.
That's my cousins like that. We call them duck feathers. Like it just be right off.
The PR guy. Well, I can answer you that question, Sean. The Athens Clarke County Police Department is notorious for at this point, arrest records are pretty much arrest records are a matter of public record, okay? But let's just say somebody we know leaves their house in the next 10 minutes, gets in a little tiff with the police, gets arrested, gets taken downtown, booked, and put into a holding cell. That does not become public record available like via whatever internet channels you can go to find that immediately.
Right.
With Athens Clarke County Police, it's like Ra Thomas gets picked up by the police at 4 o'clock. By 4:01 and 42 seconds, the Athens Clarke County Journal and the website and the Facebook page is all posting pictures and mugshots on their Facebook.
It's all quick now because of the internet, yeah.
Quick, fast, and they're calling. Hey, Susan, what's going on? John, yeah, busy night. Got a couple of guys trying to break into some cars, a couple of DIPs, nothing special. But you'll never guess who I got on a reckless driving. Well, yeah, of course he plays football.
You do that kind of.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do that kind of well. Have you done that before?
there's definitely the police department there has a reputation for targeting athletes at the school. And for if they are arrested, it gets leaked way too fast. Well, faster than the process normally takes. You know what I mean?
Oh, it definitely gets out quick.
Yeah. So I'm saying Ra Thomas gets arrested at 8 o'clock, 8:02. It's all over social media.
I was gonna say
he hadn't even been fully booked yet.
Mm-hmm.
In other associated news today, University of Georgia football wide receiver Roger Ra Thomas was arrested today on suspicion of blah blah blah. So yeah, but we could definitely get into that.
Oh yeah,
because we can get into that. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we must say goodnight. We do appreciate you. It's great being on. It's been great being on tonight. Good to be back on the airwaves.
Absolutely.
You guys forgot what I was going to say. Collin, what you got going on the rest of the week, sir?
Well, I got to be man, so yeah. So we're gonna try to do something fun. Hopefully the weather's gonna be nice. The weather's been all over the place, man. It was like 84 on Monday, and then it was like 55 on like Wednesday, and raining yesterday. So hopefully it's gonna be good this weekend. So
you want me to tell you why that is, sir? It might have something to do with that big clump of clouds that passed through here yesterday and tore up all Dickens between North Texas and all over in the Memphis and Arkansas and everything like that. It basically pushed the hot air out east, and the cold front is coming in right behind it.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to warm up and stay warm. You know what I mean? Not necessarily the sizzling hot, humid I'm ready for it to warm up a little bit though.
Yeah.
But like I said, he's gonna be here this weekend, so I'm trying to do something fun. I mean, I got to work on Sunday, but I'm off tomorrow. He and I are taking my cousin to the airport. He's flying down to Jacksonville, so we're gonna do all that stuff. Trying to do something fun on Saturday. I told him, had to talk with him. So we used to keep the roads hot before COVID and everything, and we kind of got away from that, as probably a lot of people did, and kind of got too comfortable sitting in the house, so we're gonna start getting out and doing some stuff.
Oh,
Be
for
good for
sure,
me.
for sure.
So,
For sure, for sure. Shout out to our guy, the B man, right there. Happy birthday! I remember, dude. Honestly, I think I had just met you right before y'all planted the seed, as it were.
yeah.
Before you planted the flag at midfield at Seminole Stadium. Um, so I remember him being born and all the stuff that you went through.
He's not gonna be 15 till October, dude. October 13th. So,
But still, he's gonna be 15 this year.
15, dog. 15.
That's something that one more time we got to hit that phone one more time. But on behalf, again, we thank you for tuning in. On behalf of myself and my esteemed co-host Collin P from the DMV, we do thank you all for tuning in today. Mr. Way Too Early for the Heisman. Appreciate you jumping in the comments. You and my dear friend Puka, aka Potty Mouth, aka Denver fan. We appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Those of you that are watching the replay, please, by all means, feel free to drop a comment or two. Let us know you were here. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe if you would like. But we will catch up with y'all later. I think we'll probably be back. We'll dig into this other topic that Sean gave us and maybe pop back on here in a couple of weeks and give it a talk about. Yep. But in the meantime, between time, you guys be good. You guys take care. I almost gave y'all a Jerry Springer ending there. I don't know why it's stuck in my head. You guys take care. If we don't talk to you again, have a marvelous weekend, and we will see you soon. Go Dogs.
Yeah, go Dogs.